Goodness gracious, thank you so much, everybody, for coming. This is such a wonderful tribute to Miguel Gonzalez-Gerth. We've been looking forward to this day, actually, for several years now. I think before I opened the store, he said, gee, Joe, when you open the store, I'm going to be turning 90. Why don't we have a party at the store for my birthday? And I was like, that sounds good to me. I'm always up for a party. So, Miguel, happy birthday, 90th birthday. What an event. And we're so lucky to have you as a person who contributes to the culture here in Austin, to the university, and personally to me, to my publishing company, Malvern Post Publications, and to Bookstore Malvern. And it's just wonderful to see. I'm sure everybody here knows Miguel probably much better than I do. But we're going to give him a little Q&A. So we're going to just I'm going to have a little chat with Miguel. So you can kind of let us know about some things about himself. So I've prepared some questions for you. Have to choose. So Miguel.
That's me.
That's you. 19. So Miguel, I know you're a native Spanish speaker.
Yes.
Native Spanish speaker. That's what you grew up speaking. When did you learn English?
I began learning English at age 11.
Age 11. So you only spoke Spanish. So where was it that you grew up speaking Spanish?
In Mexico City.
Mexico City. So you were born in Mexico City.
Yes.
Yeah. And then you moved to San Antonio or Austin.
San Antonio first, high school.
Yeah. And then you came to the University
Of Texas.
of Texas, and there you graduated from the University of Texas in 1950, I believe, right around 1950. Before?
50 was my master's degree.
Oh, okay, yeah, because it says, well, my notes are wrong. Excuse me. But then you moved around a bit before you came back here, because you came back in '65 to start teaching here, although you were visiting Borges here. The photographs that we have is in 1961, so you were here.
Well,
you were here. Sometimes here, sometimes. But you moved around and then you ended up getting a PhD at Princeton.
Yes.
What was your subject matter for your PhD?
Romance languages.
Romance languages. That makes sense.
In fact, when I first came here, I think it was as an assistant professor at UT. At the co-op, they would send me letters addressed to Miguel Gonzalez-Gerth, Professor of Romance.
Well, that doesn't surprise me. I hear you had a reputation in the choir when you were in high school. Yeah, well, you can talk about that if you want to. But so when did you start feeling that you wanted to write poetry? When did you start writing poetry?
Well, Joe, that is a little bit difficult to say because it's been so long ago.
Okay.
But I would reckon that I must have been in my very early teens, because my first dated poems go back to 1919.
1919. You were
1920.
I was like,
19, I was 19 years old.
okay,
Yeah.
okay, yeah. So, when you started to write poetry, did you write in Spanish?
Very little. Yeah, I started with Spanish because my mother, although she knew English, she made me read Spanish, Latin American poetry. And so that's what I first became acquainted with. And the first models were in Spanish. But then when I came to the U.S., to Texas, I was here. The language around me was English.
Can you talk a little louder?
Okay.
Use the microphone.
We can use the microphone. Miguel?
Yes.
I mean, Fernando. Fernando. How's this thing work?
Ah,
I need my tech.
I'm glad you have Fernando.
I'm glad we have Fernando too.
There we are. Can you hear me better now?
No, we haven't turned it on.
Or you want to say something?
Give it a try.
Okay. Checking. No,
Maybe get that a little. Yeah, I think that's better.
that's better.
A little bit better?
Yes.
You
Yes.
sure?
Yes.
I can still raise my voice.
Well, I think we're doing fine. You can raise your voice and use the microphone. I think that would be
Great,
wonderful.
great. I
Yeah.
used to sing, so I could.
You can always sing.
You can yodel in there.
We're only singing later. So we were talking about you were writing in English when you started writing poetry,
Yeah,
but was there a certain poet or something that you picked up and said, "Gee, either I can do better than that, what a loser," or "This is awesome, I want to do that"?
I never would say that a poet I was reading was a loser.
You didn't read the poems I've read.
The poets I read were my models.
Okay.
They were my models. And by that time, I was in high school, and then I went to high school, I came here. And needless to say, I was taking courses in English literature. The poets that I first was enthusiastic about were the English Romantics.
Okay.
Shelley and Keats especially.
That's wonderful. What language, now that then that you felt comfortable writing, what language do you prefer to write poetry in?
No, either one.
Either one?
It depends on what comes to my mind, what comes to my feelings, what the subject is. I've been writing in Spanish and in English.
I know that as well as being a poet and a scholar, which we've talked about, you're also a translator.
Yeah, I don't say much about that because for me translation is a difficult thing.
So,
I know that you are very much, after all, you publish books that are translated.
yes.
But for me, translation of poetry is nearly impossible.
I've got a wonderful story that I published a book of Miguel's called Looking for Horse Latitudes. And it was written in Spanish, right?
Yeah,
It was written in Spanish, and I asked, and Miguel said, "Well, I'll translate it myself." And so I'm designing a long poem in one of the books. I'm not really familiar with Spanish. I'm pretty rudimentary, but I noticed that one long poem, it was like 3 pages longer in English than it was in Spanish. And I called Miguel and I said, what's wrong here? You know, this Spanish, it's not matching and things like that.
The facing pages didn't work.
The facing page, because we always do them on facing pages. Miguel said, I just started thinking of different, I said, no. And so in the book, Looking for the Horse Latitudes, every poem is on facing pages in Spanish and English, except
that
one. Except that one. I said, no, we can't do it, because it would look like a mistake. It would look like a mistake, but I remember that. So that talks to what Miguel was saying about what he thinks of the translation. So, but you did do one special book translation for me.
For you.
Yes. And you want to talk about that a little bit?
We're talking about Enrique Fierro.
Correct.
There was a memorial service for him last Friday at the Department of Spanish and Portuguese. He was a beloved teacher and colleague there. And I had done this book that you asked me to do with great sentiment, and I tried to be very careful with what I did. I think it came out fairly good.
It's not easy poetry at all.
No.
Not easy poetry. But, I felt that was a project that was very close to your heart. How much in all these years have you published?
Ooh, that's hard to tell because a lot of what I published have been what is called chapbooks rather than books. They're not thick, heavy books. But they have been separate because of the times that were different and the subjects were also different. The book, which is in a way an anthology of my poetry, which you have here,
Yes.
which is called Between Day and Night. It was done by a young, I say young, everybody's young, nothing's so young, a young professor of English at TCU. And he has, after the introduction, his introduction, there's a list of titles of books that I published, and chapbooks too. And there are quite a few. But the sum total of pages or poems is not all that great. I'm not one of those people that sits down and writes something every day.
Well, we're lucky to have as many books of yours as we have over there. And if you want to look through, there is the selected poems of Miguel, the natural selections of Enrique Fierro, and then Looking for the Horse Latitudes as well as a couple of smaller things that Miguel has published, one only being in Spanish, the erotic poetry.
Yeah.
And I put an issue of the magazine The Dirty Goat out there as well, because there is a translation of one of the erotic poems in that issue. So, Miguel, to finish up with me so we can be more entertained by you.
Entertained. I also dance, by the way.
This is the way you get tenure, you know? But
In high school, I used to be called Frank Sinatra.
Frank, was that singing, dancing, both, or was that?
Saying that, I tried to be Fred Astaire, but I didn't really quite make it.
So what are you reading now? And what do you you're 90 years old.
That's
you're
a
gonna,
good question.
You want to read more stuff? You're going to write more stuff? What's up?
I'm going to write more stuff, and I'm gonna read a lot more stuff. I've been reading right now the novels and short stories of the English writer Ian McEwan.
Okay.
We have his archive here at the HRC.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, he has a new one. He has a new
Yeah,
one.
which I don't relish looking at it because of what I'm told is the subject or the technique. And I think that he probably got something from Carlos Fuentes in that,
Maybe so.
because the review I read, or my wife told me about, has to do with a narrator being unborn.
That's what I've heard.
Well, Carlos Fuentes has a book called Christopher Unborn.
Oh, and that's not vague, as you can tell. So,
It doesn't work.
yeah. So, well, thank you so much. What are you going to do for us now? I'll get out of the way up here.
Would you want me to read some poetry?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And so you'll read some poetry now and maybe talk about the picture in the snow up there, why that's there.
That will figure, yeah.
And then we'll have cake and we'll sing happy birthday to you.
Very good.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I know that you don't serve liquor here,
No, we don't.
but I really was still expecting a dry martini.
No. You can use your imagination. You're right. All right. Thank you, Miguel.
Thank you, Joe.